here's an interesting article on the Hill that I wanted to share with you guys. And I also wanted to speak about Bernie Sanders and the upcoming 2020 primary, because if you're on Twitter, I know not all of you guys are, but if you're on Twitter, you'll know that there is this sort of liberal wing, the resistance wing, which is super cringy, by the way. I hate it with every fiber of my being. It is super annoying. Who is anti-Bernie Sanders, pro-corporate garbage Democrats. And there is an absolute, just total battle going out on Twitter right now between Bernie fans and, some of them, I should say. A lot of it is David Sirota. He's sort of fighting the fight against a bunch of libshits, annoying libshits. So here's this story, okay? It says 2020 Dems go on offense over drug prices. Now, I want to set the scene a little bit here. Back, I believe it was a couple years ago, where Bernie Sanders had proposed this amendment where it would allow drugs to be imported from Canada, because what we have now is we're paying like double or triple the prices that Canadians pay for their medicine. Probably because, Canadians actually, their government actually, they have a system where they negotiate prices with the pharmaceutical industry. Whereas here, we don't have that. In fact, most of our legislature is bought out by the pharmaceutical industry, which is shitty, very trash. We have an oligarchy in place as of right now. But Cory Booker and a bunch of other corporate douchebag Democrats had voted against it. And we rightfully critiqued them for that. In fact, there were actually Republicans who voted for this. People like John McCain and Ted Razor-Nose Cruz. Oh, man, when Ted Cruz votes right on something and you don't as a Democrat, sad day. Sad day, man. And it turned out Cory Booker had massive amounts of funds from the pharmaceutical industry. So people went after him for that. I'm going to read you guys what the Hill says. It says potential 2020 Democratic presidential contenders are rolling out a slew of plans to lower prescription drug prices, highlighting the importance the issue will hold in the coming campaigns. Just in the 2 past weeks, Senators Kamala Harris, Cory Booker, and Elizabeth Warren have unveiled new drug pricing plans. Democrats see lowering drug prices as a way to harness populist anger at pharmaceutical companies and reclaim an issue that President Trump has put in the spotlight. They're also following in the footsteps of Senator Bernie Sanders, who made railing against drug companies a central part of his 2016 presidential bid and has continued to hammer away on the issue. The greed of the prescription drug industry is literally killing Americans, and it has got to stop, Sanders said last month as he unveiled another bill targeting drug prices. So again, Bernie Sanders always fighting the good fight. He's working his ass off day and night for the people, to represent the people, to aid American people's lives and to make them better. Now, this is just another example of the influence that Bernie Sanders has had in the Democratic Party. Bernie Sanders has pushed Kamala Harris significantly more left, by the way. She's come out, she co-sponsored his Medicare for All bill, and I've seen tweets from her account saying that she supports $15 minimum wage, and then attaching that to inflation, which is even another step forward. That's even a deeper step, a more advanced step. So he's definitely influenced Kamala Harris to be more left-wing, at least ostensibly so, right? We don't know if when push comes to shove she'd actually do it. But what Bernie Sanders has done is at least she's been moved left, swayed left, ostensibly speaking. Same thing with Cory Booker, okay? Cory Booker got a ton of pushback from the people when he voted against that amendment that would allow drugs to be implemented or imported from Canada, because we pay like 2 or 3 times more than Canadians pay. And he voted against it because he's bought out by the pharmaceutical industry. We fought back. We said, hey, Cory, what are you doing? Fam, what are you doing? You're not representing the people. You're bought out. You're a bought out shill for the pharmaceutical industry. And he has now been pushed. So Bernie Sanders has this massive sway on the Democratic Party. And I found out that the California primary was moved up a lot. I think it's sometime in like March now, where normally it's deep. I think it's in like June, which is by then it's usually already decided. So I was kind of like, oh, my vote's not even that big of a deal, which sucks. But it's pretty early now, so I'm really psyched. I cannot wait to vote for Bernie Sanders. I'm really excited for that. That's going to be really awesome. But anyways, the point here being is Bernie Sanders is pushing people to move left, and that is just another example of Bernie Sanders' influence in the Democratic Party.